Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. A very popular attorney within the XRP community has posited the idea that the worst case scenario for XRP really isn't that bad. The worst case scenario for XRP, given what's going on with the SEC suing Ripple, claiming that XRP was sold as an unregistered security, everything's going to be all right, basically. And also, this attorney has put forth an idea that there's an opportunity here for, at a minimum, partial settlement, and I'll share with you the specifics of what he means by that. So there's really a lot to unpack in this video, and I'll begin with this piece from AMB Crypto titled SEC Ripple Lawsuit. What will the impact of the judgment be on XRP? I do want to be clear that I don't have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast on the internet who makes YouTube videos as a very fun hobby on topics such as XRP and Ripple and cryptocurrency, but that is all that it is. And so who is the attorney in question? It'd be none other than Jeremy Hogan. And if you've not yet followed him, you should definitely do so. He has a channel on YouTube called Legal Briefs, and I know that a ton of you that subscribe to my channel already have gone over, and that's good because I always want to give credit where it is due and prop up those members of the XRP community that are contributing in meaningful ways. And so if you just type in Legal Briefs, this is what will come up, and you will have a killer time. That's the Moon Lambeau guarantee. Also, I do want to give a shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf, who sent this AMB Crypto story my way. Thank you very much, XRP Crypto Wolf. I very much appreciate you sending me all sorts of information on effectively a daily basis. It's impressive, and I am thankful for that. But in we go. It's been an interesting few months for Ripple and XRP, with the two at the center of a contentious lawsuit filed by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission back in December. In fact, the initiation of the lawsuit alone had a grave impact on the market. Not only was XRP delisted from a host of exchanges after losing much of its value in the immediate aftermath, but Ripple too saw a significant decline in its volumes. At press time, however, the cryptocurrency had seemingly recovered on the price charts. Ergo the question, what will the impact of an unfavorable judgment be on Ripple and XRP? Yeah, and so right there, I'll share with you my 2 cents on that. Not that I know exactly how all this is going to unfold. I don't mean it like that, but yeah, the price has recovered, but at the expense of all sorts of XRP investors that were rightfully intimidated and scared by the actions of the SEC. So that's already repulsive to me. That is not okay. As John Deaton, Attorney John Deaton, has cited many times, it should be the market that determines the winners and losers. And so if XRP is going to fail, it better be because it sucks. You know, it shouldn't be because the SEC comes in and determines that XRP can no longer be. That is not remotely fair. And so yes, XRP has come back up because people are speculating, and super duper I'm glad the price has rebounded, but I still personally believe that it is the price of XRP is being artificially suppressed to this point. I don't believe for a moment that XRP would only be worth whatever it is. I didn't check right before recording this, but whether it's 50 something cents or whatever, I don't believe for a moment that's all that it would be worth right now. I don't think that it would be number 7 in market cap. It would probably be more like 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that, but not number 7. And so it doesn't mean that the world's over here. I still think that XRP is moving with the market. It's just moving with the market at a suppressed price. But we'll see. I still think when the green candle comes, the green candle comes. But anyway, the piece continues. Popular attorney Jeremy Hogan offered a response to the same during a recent interview. Citing the ruling of the Kick Interactive case as the, quote, worst case scenario, end quote, Hogan argued that a similar judgment will definitely not be a death blow to Ripple, and XRP will certainly not fall down to nothing. In the aforementioned case, the defendant was fined 10% of what it raised in the disputed ICO, with the court also ruling that Kick Interactive will have to agree to comply with SEC securities laws and can only sell the KIN token to accredited investors. If a similar judgment is passed in the present case involving Ripple and XRP, according to Hogan, quote, it wouldn't put it out of business, end quote. And also, he said, the worst case scenario from past cases is not that horrible. Well, how about that? And he's absolutely correct, but the fact that the XRP ledger is decentralized, of course, this wouldn't literally mean a death blow, like it stops existing or somebody can shut it down. It's more so a concern for me personally about whether or not Ripple would be allowed to continue selling XRP, because that is important, and whether or not it can continue to be traded in the United States. But from what Jeremy Hogan has thoroughly covered to this point, he doesn't think any of that is likely to be an issue. And so even if we get some really bad law, probably going to be okay. The piece continues. The attorney also reiterated the assertion that the most likely scenario will be a settlement, with Hogan claiming that Gensler's team as SEC chairman will open the door to such a possibility even more. He also alluded to the fact that just a few days ago, Judge Sarah Netburn reportedly highlighted that the utility of XRP as a currency rather than a security, an observation that touches upon the crux of the SEC's case. Yes, and so she said that it's her understanding, effectively, that XRP has a currency value and that it also has utility, right? Anyway, piece continues. However, it's worth noting that Judge Netburn isn't the primary judge in the case. Instead, she is merely assisting Judge Annalisa Torres with a few aspects of the discovery phase of the trial, which is true. But Jeremy Hogan brought up an important point, which is these judges, so it'll be Judge Netburn and Judge Torres, like, they have notable interactions. Of course, they're going to be coordinating, and it wouldn't be unheard of for them to have somewhat similar views on this topic, because they're probably helping each other to get a handle on this and informing each other's perspective, at least to this point. And so that's a little bit of speculation, but still, I don't mind at all just thinking through it in those terms. And I think the fact that Jeremy Hogan brought that up, just given that he's got a legal background, he was a career lawyer, he'd understand more so the inner workings of these types of situations compared to anybody else that isn't a lawyer. So I always appreciate these types of insights here. Now, the piece wraps up by stating, finally, while Ripple's recent sales may be all right, it's going to be difficult assessing them the older they are, with disgorgement likely to come into play here, and Hogan said the following to conclude. Ripple is looking really strong as far as current and future sales are probably not sales of securities. Now, if you go back to 2014, 2015, or 2016, now you have more of a problem, end quote. Which does make sense, and we'll see that. I won't be at all surprised to find that Ripple has to pay some sort of fine at some point. I just, like I said a moment ago, I don't care if they ultimately have to. I think they'd be fine with that, as long as there's a path forward and the SEC isn't actually functionally trying to put them out of business, and as long as XRP can be traded in the United States openly on exchange, then we're good. And it does seem like, from Jeremy's perspective, that seems to be the more likely outcome. And so then there have been some interesting documents that have come out, including this one, which I covered, but I want to share with you some takes from Jeremy Hogan on this, along with some of my thoughts along the way, because this has been, it was quite a response. So in terms of John Deaton, now let's have to assume, because the video goes on too long if I give too much backstory, I'm going to have to some degree assume that we're somewhat caught up, if not watch some of my older videos, I guess. But as far as John Deaton's attempt to intervene in the court, in the court case of the SEC versus Ripple, we now have responses from Ripple and from the SEC. I've covered both in pretty great detail, I'd say. But I want to give you some thoughts here from Jeremy Hogan, along with some things that I've been thinking along the way here now. And so this is ultimately going to get to this idea of an opportunity for partial settlement with the SEC and Ripple. And so partial settlement, that's a term that Jeremy Hogan was using. And so again, John Deaton has filed a motion to intervene in the SEC versus Ripple case. And this is a major problem for the SEC, because they're claiming that they're taking action to come to the rescue of XRP holders, but Deaton's filing shows that there are over 10,000 XRP holders that believe the SEC is harming them, not protecting them. Now, that is a serious problem for the SEC, as Jeremy Hogan has been articulating, frankly. And so he says that Ripple is using John Deaton's motion to intervene in the case as a figurative weapon, basically. So Ripple must, and is, arguing that every individual sale of XRP is a separate event, which differentiates more recent sales from those in the past. So the SEC, on the other hand, is arguing that Ripple sales activities recommend one very big 8-year offering of XRP, which to me just seems like a completely bogus attempt at winning the case. Like one sale, so there's like an incredible number of sales, and just think about how many times an individual XRP must have changed hands. Like if you just go through the history of the blockchain of the XRP ledger, what must that look like? And so it's just the idea that all of this indicates all of Ripple's sales. Maybe they're even trying to say all sales just represents some sort of endless sale of securities is completely bogus and nonsense. Anyway, but they want all the sales to be lumped together. So the SEC is arguing in such a vague fashion that they could claim that they are arguing that all XRP is a security, or if they so decide, they can argue that, of course, the XRP retailers buy and sell could never be a security, because after all, it's the mission of the SEC to protect investors. And so the SEC effectively is trying to have it both ways. And this is because they don't want to have to argue both points, as that represents quite the uphill battle. And so Ripple is taking this opportunity to force clarity, they're trying anyway, surrounding the SEC's position. And so part of this document reads as follows. The SEC now has a chance in the face of the putative intervener's letter to confirm that its suit is not intended to affect the secondary retail market for XRP in the United States. Despite some broad language in the amended complaint, the SEC has at times suggested that its theory of liability is indeed more limited, such that secondary market sales and other transactions in XRP would not be subject to the federal securities laws. And so, end quote. That was literally written in this legal filing here. And so with this statement, Ripple is clearly letting the court know that not all XRP sales are the same. And Jeremy notes this in the type of clarity that the SEC needs to provide in order for crypto exchanges to relist XRP. And so Ripple's attorneys then include this statement also, and this is another quote from the filing, reaffirming this narrow theory of liability and clarifying that the SEC does not seek to establish that XRP is per se an investment contract would minimize any interest interveners have in the outcome of this litigation. And that ends the quote there. And so this is important because clearly the SEC doesn't want John Deaton to intervene in the court. So, if the SEC provided clarity in this position, which indicated that XRP sold by your everyday holders like you and me does not represent an investment contract, there wouldn't really be a need for Deaton's intervention. So, it makes it like I understand what they're going for here, and Jeremy thinks that this is an opportunity for a partial settlement. So, if the SEC ends up stating that XRP sold by retailers does not represent an investment contract, then that will effectively protect all future sales of XRP. It would also take Ripple's escrow sales out of the picture, which means Ripple could continue to function as a business utilizing XRP as a funding mechanism. The litigation between the SEC versus Ripple would continue under such circumstances. It would only be looking at the XRP Ripple sold from 2013 through the end of 2020, roughly. And that is exactly what Ripple wants. And so it's fascinating just to hear all sorts of perspectives from so many lawyers within the XRP community. And I always look forward to seeing what Jeremy Hogan has to say. He has a certain way of articulating this and making the complex easily understandable, even for a simple moon Nambo. So there we are. But look, I think better days are ahead. I really do. I just what else can we do though but believe? Because more likely than not, I think statistically, even if you just go by that, like more likely than not, justice will be done. I think usually it is within the court system within the United States. Yeah, sometimes you get some bad law. Now, it's also true, by the way, worth mentioning, that about 95% of cases brought against an entity by the SEC, about 95% of them end up in settlement rather than full adjudication in court. And so maybe you say, okay, maybe it's a little bit less likely because this is kind of a unique scenario with Ripple and there's a lot at stake and this or that. I understand, but still, statistically, more likely than not, we'll see some sort of settlement. And you know that Ripple is not going to settle unless the terms are going to be favorable for them, even if they have to give something up. And so that's why I've said before, the morning I wake up and see the headline that Ripple has settled with the SEC, even before I know the details, I will be breathing a sigh of relief because I know that Ripple again would not agree to a settlement if it were something that would be extremely detrimental for them or would prevent them from utilizing XRP as a funding mechanism or just running their business in general. So I think it's going to be okay. And then once this is done, it's done. The SEC cannot bring the suit again. There is such a thing in the United States as double jeopardy, and so you cannot go after Ripple again once this is all said and done. So feel free to drop a comment below. I love diversity of thought, and hearing from all of you just makes my day. But that is it for this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.